Us as humans have been told, like, our entire life that we need human connection, which is not a lie. We do need human connection, but what we truly need and what we truly value is community. Scientifically, we crave to be a part of something that's bigger than ourselves. So in order to feel whole and like you're doing something with your life, in order to feel like you have a purpose, you need to be involved in something that's bigger than just you. Whether that is teaching people something that you're very aware of, if it's growing food and giving it to another community, if it's planting a tree, if it's anything that involves something bigger than just yourself, it has to involve helping the community and growing as a whole. Yes, we have family, yes, we have friends, but if you guys aren't getting together as a community and doing things as a unit, then you're never going to be fulfilled from the inside. We all get caught up so much in the, oh, I could do it myself, I don't need to ask for help, I got it, I could do it on my own, I'll work for it, I'll do it all, which is okay. It's okay to be independent and do the things that you need to do, but on top of that, you have to have a purpose. So I just wanted this to be a reminder that if you're feeling lost or secluded, I want you to... Sorry, I had to switch over to the driver's side, but what I was saying basically is I want you to do something for your community today. I want you to go out and give a sandwich to the homeless people, or sign up to vote, or literally I want you to sign up for the yoga class that you've always been wanting to go to, the dance rehearsal that you've always been wanting to go to. I want you to do something that involves more than just yourself, more than just your work, and more than just your school. I want you to go out and do something with human beings, face to face. Get off your phone. It'll feel so good, I swear. It'll feel so good. Just go be a part of it.
So I figure out why I've been feeling so lost over the past 2.5 years after the quarantine. And it's because I have no community. Like, I don't have a group of people who are working to a similar goal, or at least some similar goals. It's just a bunch of people living in silos working towards their own ambitions, and they don't even have time to build community. And that's the same for me. It's really difficult to have that community I had pre-quarantine. And aside from having people to talk to and do fun things with, what makes not having a community hard is that you don't have a mirror to hold yourself accountable. Your mirrors are your friends and your community. You have to hold yourself accountable, and you have to push for your own desires without any kind of external influence. And I've realized I only have a limited capacity to do that. So I've been working really, really hard this year to build community with other creators, with other business people, like just finding a way to have people around me at all times.
Shoved in the kitchen of a city tune. The light would flicker like a violent wound. The night was thicker than a smoky fume. And my eyes awaited in the room.
Do you have the wrong type of hobby? Because I think I might. And it was sending me into a little bit of an existential spiral because I realized I have hobbies and I like my hobbies, but my hobbies are all indoor hobbies. And I didn't realize until my friend was asking me like, oh, what do you like to do for fun? Content creating, journaling, coloring, watching TV shows and movies. And he was like, you're inside for all of those hobbies. And I was like, yeah, I mean, like, I love not leaving the house. But saying that out loud made me realize, like, big problem I've been having with post-grad and, like, adulthood is that I feel like I've been having a hard time, like, making friends. Or rather, I think I have friends. I don't have community. And I think it's because I don't go outside very much. And I should. But it's like, a lot of the hobbies that I have and the things that I enjoy doing in my free time, I prefer to do them like in the house, in the comfort of my home. But if I do want to be like meeting people, I do have to be willing to go outside. But like, I don't want to just go to events that are like, oh, come here and like make friends. Like, no, I have to go to events that are like centered around my interests. So then like, there's a purpose for like trying to become friends. At least there's like another shared interest. But the thing is, my interests are, it can be done at home. It's just hard because you have to spend money to be outside. I think I was making the most of my situation, but I do want to make friends. So I don't know, maybe I'll have to like go outside more. And thankfully, the sun is out longer. So I don't just like finish work for my 9 to 5 and like want to sleep because the sun's already down. So maybe I'll tough out the whole 25 minute commute anywhere just so that I could potentially find a new hobby and make friends. If you have any suggestions, please tell me. I'm thinking about doing pickleball because everyone's into pickleball. Like I have my, keep y'all updated.
A conversation that we need to have on here is our generation's lack of emphasis on community and friendship and how that affects the way that they network in professional settings. I really want people to understand that it's who you know, it's not what you know. And I was on the phone with one of my very close friends. They were talking to a partner at a firm, and the partner literally was complaining to them saying, yeah, there was somebody around your age that came up to me and basically said to me, hey, how long did it take for you to become partner? To the average ear, you'll probably think nothing is wrong with that, but at the end of the day, you're showing your intentions that you are only looking at moving up in corporate as like a greed thing, right? You're not fascinated by the work. You're not invested in buying into the culture. You're basically sizing a partner up to try and figure out what they did to get to where they're at, all those different types of things. And you can learn that just by asking them the simple question, hey, like, I'm so fascinated about what you do at the firm. Would you mind like telling me more about your career and just the different things that like interested you? And just, do you have any tips that you would give to new hires? Also, a big red flag when you are networking from people that are usually around my age is they always approach a conversation with like talking completely about themselves. Listen more than you talk when you are trying to network with somebody, because if you are approaching them, that means that you are coming into the situation knowing that you can get some type of added value out of them, but you don't know if you can provide value to them yet. And that's why I allow somebody to talk about themselves first. And when I hear certain things that are relevant to things that I am pursuing or relevant to experiences or friends or just anything in my life that I could speak towards, I add it in. Like, oh my God, that's funny you would say that because this, or that's funny that you talked about that because I'm doing that as well. They usually are going to inquire, oh, really? What are you doing? Like if you say you're pursuing a master's, they're going to say, what are you pursuing a master's in? That gives you the perfect segue to talk about your background, talk about what you want to do, talk about why you're pursuing that master's, and talk about how this firm and that master's can overall lead you down the trajectory of your career. Like the conversation should flow naturally. It shouldn't just start off with you basically essentially talking all about yourself or starting the conversation with what you want to get out of them. And I do believe that a lot of people operate this way in their interpersonal relationships as well. They only call people when they need things. And then when it's the other way around and somebody needs you, you're nowhere to be found. Remember, people want to work with people that are enjoyable. The qualifications are cool. That gets you in the door. But being likable keeps you there.
So many people complain about not having a sense of community anymore, and it's because you guys can't even say hello to each other anymore. You can't even say hello to strangers. You can't even walk past them. There's no good morning, hi, how are you? No one is willing to do small talk anymore. And you guys, that's actually what creates community. So you're gonna complain about this and then you can't even say hello or good morning to people these days. It's just crazy to see how many people feel so isolated, so alone. And it's like, yeah, because you avoid eye contact with everyone you see. It's almost like awkward or intrusive to like exist in spaces with other people these days. I don't know, something needs to change though.
Making friends in your 20s feels like such a load of bullshit. I'll say you're lonely, you say you don't have plans, you don't know anyone in your city. Well, you don't return a motherfucking text. You don't return a text. I literally feel like I'm losing my mind. I can't do this unreciprocal bullshit anymore. Why is it that it's easier for me to make plans with my long distance friends who live across the country than it is to see someone that lives in my city? It makes me feel like I'm a crazy person because all I ever hear is that people don't have friends. They don't want to make. I actively try to make friends and it lasts approximately 4 months. That's a pretty decent timeline for how my friendships start to finish because eventually I realize I'm the only fucking person making a plan ever. I'm the only person reaching out. I'm never getting a text back or I'm having to follow up. I'm so sick of it. I'm gonna lose my mind. We're all out here protecting our peace. I get it. I live by myself. I do a lot of things by myself, but I talk more often to my friends that live far as fuck away than I can with the people that live here. My closest friends, I have like 5 close friends that live all over the country. Somehow I can't get someone to stick with a plan for dinner on a Tuesday night. Like I've lived in Houston for 3 years and I have yet to establish a friendship where I could just call someone up and ask if they want to do something. It's like people have decided they've reached their friend limit max. No one's actively trying to make friends. No one wants to meet new people. I'm just honestly sick of hearing people talk about how they're lonely, sad, and depressed when they don't do anything to change it. I'm so over it.
Community is dead in America, right? Because somewhere along the way, protecting our peace and minding our own business turned into self-isolation. And that longing for community has made so many people overcompensate. And what I mean by that is looking at the rise of people who say, oh, I hate small talk. Tell me about your childhood trauma. We're so desperate for a sense of community that we've completely forgotten normal boundaries. We all just want to skip straight to the ending. But 1, nobody owes you their childhood trauma, and 2, there's nothing wrong with small talk. And I'm not saying scripted small talk, right? I mean real small talk. Something silly, something fun, something that's an integral part of human connection. but we've begun to think of that kind of talk as something below us. But you don't get to make people uncomfortable in an attempt to get closer to them, just because you seek the comfort that comes with friendship. Because not everything needs to be this deep, insanely heartfelt conversation where you guys pour your guts out to each other after 2 days of knowing one another. And I'm not saying we shouldn't talk to each other about this kind of stuff. They are incredibly important. But what I am saying is that you cannot make the basis of your human connections be trauma and mental illness and heartbreak. Because it's okay to talk about fun and silly things. Not everything needs to be so intense all of the time.
I went to a wedding yesterday and I was able to see a lot of like my old church members. Now these are the church members I had when I first moved to Houston, and I was talking to some friends at the table, and one was telling me how her mom has been running around all morning long for fabric and this and cups, and I don't know, something about that just made me realize that our parents, they did community, as in I don't think we could even touch, when it comes to community, we can't touch them. Because really they needed each other, so they really didn't have a choice. You're in a whole new country, you don't really know anyone. And so I began to think, what about those? I feel like these days we don't really emphasize the importance of community because we feel like we don't really need each other. Like I remember growing up, someone would have a celebration and you'll go to the backyard, all the aunties are just, they're in the kitchen cooking. The only community we know is to go and be doing brunch. We don't even really come together and cook. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm just a little cheesy. And a lot of times I feel like we don't like being inconvenienced. And so to even go and do for someone is almost like pulling teeth. We're building community online, but in real life, everybody's just going their own way. So it's like, where's the village? All I know is I plan on being more intentional about community because it's important. How will our children grow together?
This right here, the death of community in the US is so real. I'm 28, and if you ask me where people my age go to hang out that's not a late night bar at 1 a.m. on a Friday, I literally could not tell you. I don't think anyone knows, because we don't go out. We just stay in. I don't want to go to a random neighborhood bar. It's not fun. Nobody looks like they're having fun. There's no young professionals there. It's not inspiring. I can go to the gym, but nobody talks at the gym. I can go for a walk and I'll either melt in the 105-degree weather or get struck by lightning in a thunderstorm. The coffee shops we do have are designed to be uncomfortable. They want to push you out in 30 minutes or less. The furniture is specifically designed to make you want to leave quickly. It's a vibe designed to push you out. All my friends are too busy to breathe. I've actually had some tell me I can't hang out for 4 months because I have work. We've all just silently agreed to be living like this. We used to have third spaces. Now we just have home, work, and screens. It feels so isolating. Do other countries feel this lonely, or is it just us?
Social media has stolen our generation's sense of community. Think back to our parents' generation. If you wanted to socialize with people, you had to go to the bar, go to the pub, go to the concert hall, go to the sporting event, and actually talk to people face to face. These third places that our parents had away from home and away from work have been completely replaced by social media. How many times have you got home from work after a long day and just sat on your couch, scrolled TikTok, talked in the group chat, or FaceTimed a friend? Probably a lot. And if you do decide to go somewhere after work, like a concert, a pub, a dinner, you're going to sit on your phone and go on social media anyways. Face-to-face interactions with our friends are extremely good for mental health. They reduce depression, they reduce anxiety, and we've almost completely replaced them with social media. To make it even worse, when you log into social media, you're just seeing a highlight reel of other people's lives. Then you start playing the comparison game. Oh, Joey's doing so many cool things. He's going on amazing trips. Oh, Sally's in a great relationship. She looks so happy. On the surface of social media, you're comparing yourself to other people and feeling less than them, but in reality, they're probably more miserable than you. So you're not getting the social interactions that we used to have in our parents' generation. You're comparing yourself to other people's lives on social media. And the worst one of them all, you're processing dozens and dozens and dozens of people's lives in the matter of a few minutes, which our brains are just not meant to do. Like, seriously, think about it. You follow hundreds of people on social media and you're up to date with their daily lives every single day. We're not meant to process that as human beings. Our social energy does not run that far. So now you're not getting the face-to-face interactions that are extremely good for your mental health, and your anxiety is spiking because you're sitting here scrolling through social media all day. When is the last time you've gone to a coffee shop and just sat there for hours talking to your friends? When I was in Europe and Portugal, I went to get a coffee from an outside cafe, and I saw people sitting there drinking beer, drinking coffee, talking, having a great time. When I walked by the same coffee shop 3 hours later to go out to dinner, those same people were still sitting in their seats, laughing, having face-to-face conversations, no phones in sight, for hours and hours and hours upon end in Europe. That does not happen in America. We need to bring back third places like cafes and pubs and concert venues and pool halls. We need to sit for hours on end at a restaurant or a cafe and just have face-to-face interactions and do way less social media.
So I've been annoying friends and family over my obsession with walkable communities and often get asked why I care so much. I stumbled into the new urbanism movement just over a year ago and spent months reading the research behind it all. In doing so, I found that car-dependent suburban sprawl was at the root of so many of our social issues, and that walkability can solve for a lot of them. If we reform zoning and parking laws, then incentivize dense mixed-use development in downtown districts, the nature is healing meme can become a reality. Our carbon emissions drop from less car travel and more services done in proximity between people and places. Legalizing multifamily housing makes housing more affordable for everyone and gives people more freedom of movement. Social inequality decreases as low-income earners are able to afford housing and to live without cars, which are the second highest expense many of us have. Accessibility increases for seniors and disabled folks by adding more sidewalk features and having more proximity to services, all with less cars on the road, meaning less congestion for those who still need to drive. Our infrastructure costs go down from building less sprawled out roads and sewage and power lines. Culture becomes more rich when different people live closer to one another, resulting in better restaurants and art and innovation and relationships. Economic prosperity skyrockets from building sustainable mixed-use towns. This also means less people feeling lonely or atomized by living so far from one another. Less cars means less traffic deaths and injuries, less noise pollution, and less diseases like asthma. The more people who actively walk on a street, the safer that street is, not only from cars, but from crime. Not to mention just the health benefits of walking, which cuts down on rates of obesity, diabetes, heart disease, strokes, and cancer. All this and these goals are attainable by individuals at the local level. If you can get a small group of people, you can develop relationships with public officials and local stakeholders to make these policies happen. Making places more walkable again helps everyone. It's relevant right now with the housing, energy, and climate crises. It has bipartisan support, and you can make a difference. So yeah, that's why I care about making places more walkable.
No, but like maybe you're not depressed. Maybe you just need community. You need friends. You need to actually leave your house and socialize with other people. There's so much messaging on social media like glorifying being a homebody. I love staying in. I hate going out. And trust me, I'm the same way. I love staying at home and watching a movie, but forcing myself to get out of my comfort zone and make community changed my life. I'm not even exaggerating. And yes, it is so uncomfortable. It takes time. It takes a lot of energy, a lot of effort, especially if you're introverted, to put yourself out there consistently until you meet the right people, but it is so worth it. There is nothing like being around people who are welcoming, loving, supportive, inspiring to be around. Anytime I'm like struggling with self-doubt or insecurities and I'm just like too in my head and I get around people like that, I am like instantly healed. Like I instantly feel better. I instantly feel more confident and like self-assured. So this is your sign to go to that event alone, meet new people, put yourself out there, leave your comfort zone, leave the comfort of your home, and you will not regret it.
At the risk of sounding too much like a hippie, we need to start a community. Society sucks. I think we all can agree that everything is falling apart before our eyes, and that's because we've been too reliant on just a few corporations that run the world. Not human beings. They're corporations. And they do not care about the well-being of humanity or making it a better place for all of us to live. I know the comeback is going to be that it's too expensive, but it's really not. There's ways to get cheap land, even if you have bad credit. And I know the comeback is that land's going through the roof, but right now there are areas that are kind of shitty and you can buy it and fix it up. If you have enough people helping you, this isn't a problem. But the thing is, we got to get outside of our shell, start making friends, start being alive, and having real connection with each other. And as far as building a home, it doesn't have to be that expensive either, especially if you're starting off-grid. There's earth-shipped homes, look into geodesic homes, there's rammed earth. And if people are pooling their resources together and we're sharing our talents with one another, this just makes it a lot easier. It's doable. It's more important than ever that we start learning how to permaculture, growing our own food, how to farm. And that might seem too hard, but there's ways now that are way easier than just tilling the soil, especially when we have one another. But when you look at what's going on in the grocery store, I mean, the food prices are going through the roof, and that's a reason. It's because we keep feeding our energy, our time, our dollar to these resources that clearly do not care about us or our health. I'm finding more food every day that they call food that has a new chemical in it because they hid the old chemical when they were sued for causing cancer. It shouldn't have ever been this way. It's time to go back to Eden. I'm full of solutions, not just looking at the problem. and not everyone wants a solution. You might say, well, I don't know how to grow my own food. Well, there's farmers that need help right now. All the time they need help. They're shorthanded. And that's the thing. These big corporations, big ag, is killing the small farmer that we should be helping. We got away from because we're too reliant on the grocery store system. If you like to travel, you can learn through woofing, and then you get to travel and you get to learn how to grow your own food and be sustainable. But at some point, we just have to put down our pride and realize that we can't do anything alone. We're meant to be in a community. We're meant to be with each other in a symbiotic, like a forest. And that's why my husband and I are learning to grow our own food, and we work at a local organic farm.